The idea of an agency like the Federal Trade Commission is that it's independent, so it can do a good job for you, the consumer, without pressure to serve any other interest. And same goes for the Federal Reserve, actually. It's independent, so it can make good faith, best effort decisions affecting the economy we all live in without facing any political pressure to do anything else. Both of them supposed to be independent, both of them supposed to be independent for the same reason. But today, the Supreme Court said the president isn't free to fire a governor at the Federal Reserve, but he is free to fire members of the Federal Trade Commission or any other agency like it. As the New York Times netted it up today, quote, the main distinction appears to be, quote, that many Republicans care more about a well-functioning Fed than about any other agency. Today, one of the FTC commissioners who was fired by Trump put it even more bluntly here on MS Now. Former Commissioner Alvaro Bedoya said today that the court is, quote, making clear that the Wall Street bankers, the central bankers, they deserve an independent, above-the-fray regulator, while the rest of us schmucks get stuck with the loyalists. Joining us now is Alvaro Bedoya. He's a former commissioner for the Federal Trade Commission. Mr. Bedoya, thanks very much for being here. I know this has been a long, pretty intense day. That's okay. I'm still just a schmuck, stuck with the loyalists, just like you, so I'm all right. Just like all of us. Well, can you just expand on that idea a little bit? I think people who are lawyers or legally minded are struck by the contrast between these two decisions, but I think you're hitting at something in terms of what this really practically means for regular American people. Yeah, look, so when the Fed was created, it was a year before the FTC, 1913, 1914. They had protections so that the oligarchs of their days, the John D. Rockefellers, Andrew Carnegies of the world, couldn't pressure the presidents of those eras to make those institutions bend to their will in favor of their rich friends. And so going into today, you had two institutions that basically were playing off the same playbook. The main difference is that one of them, the Fed, primarily does things that central bankers and Wall Street bankers love, which is keep things nice and steady. The FTC, you know, my old agency, they're the guys who banned Martin Shkreli for life from the pharmaceutical industry. They were suing Jeff Bezos for ripping off small business owners who are forced to sell on the site. They're the ones who kept a pharma company from cornering the market on these key cancer tests. The FTC and so many other agencies like it are the ones that protect regular people who are trying to make rent, pay groceries, pay their health insurance, and make payroll. And yet, now we see this two-tiered system of justice where the bankers get that above-the-fray regulator, and the rest of us get stuck with loyalists who can be fired at any time for no reason. And when I think loyalists in the abstract, in general, right, I think about people who are part of the president's general ideological mien, right? I think of people who might have been part of the campaign. I think about people who are sort of fellow travelers, no matter where the president is on the ideological number line. But when it comes to Donald Trump, I think of loyalists as people who are there to serve Trump and the Trump family's financial interests and potentially political interests. And so, I mean, loyalism within the MAGA movement is really personal. What could that mean at the FTC and at other agencies to have people there who really are only there because they want to help, you know, Ivanka make money or whatever? Well, look at the inauguration. Let's go back to that crazy image of Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, over the president's shoulder at the inauguration, along with Jeff Bezos, okay? So who's going to get hurt? It's the people who those guys are hurting. So I mentioned Amazon. You know, they're a monopolist. If you are a mom-and-pop business, you have to be on Amazon. Yet Amazon squeezes you for 50 cents on every dollar. And when you offer a lower price off of Amazon, we allege at FTC, they punish you. Look at by taking you out of that preferred buy box where most people just click and they buy there. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Reuters reported, I think it was a year ago, that Meta was letting their chatbots have, quote, and I quote, sensual conversations with children. This is years at the 2013s, 2014s, where we saw what social media did to our children.
in the 2020s, Mark Zuckerberg was doing these things. The FTC was bringing an action against Zuckerberg and his company for violating kids' privacy, making all sorts of promises he didn't live up to. Look at Sam Altman. He was thinking about rolling out, erotica on his chatbots. There was, New York Times reported a public investigation into how he was consolidating power. And so if you have a kid who's struggling online, spending time in places he or she shouldn't, if you are a small business owner, if you're a consumer who can't figure out how to get out of prime, if you're just one of those regular people who's getting screwed over by these massive corporations, the FTC were the ones who help you. And now the concern is it's not going to matter who is in the right. What's going to matter is who has given the president and how much have they given to the president. And let me just add here that this is par for the course for the Supreme Court. I think sometimes on the left, we know the presidents can be crooked. We know the Congress can be crooked, but we kind of still put the Supreme Court on a hill. We need to wake up to the fact these are the folks who said that corporations are people, so they can spend as much as they want in their elections, that corporations can deny real people their day in court. And now the latest thing is that if a CEO of one of these corporations loads up on President Trump's crypto coin or decides to donate to his weird golden ballroom, President Trump is immune from accusations of bribery. So I think the decision today should just be added to that list, and we need to recognize the fact this thing has become a billionaire's fan club.
Oliver Obedoya, a former commissioner at the FTC. I really thank you for making time to be with us tonight. Again, I know it's been a busy and intense day. I really appreciate it.